Now let's go through the some sample code to achieve the same using the Lightning Web Component development. For that, I will use VS Code as my code editor, and as most of you might already be knowing that we use Salesforce extension along with the VS Code, that is Visual Studio Code, to do the Lightning Web Component development. In case you don't know how to configure the Visual Studio Code on your local machine to interact with the Salesforce org, do let us know in the comment section. We will definitely come up with a dedicated video on setting that up. So let's begin. What I'll do in my VS Code, I will try creating one sample Lightning Web Component for this demo purpose. So here I'll use this create LWC Web Component command, and I'll give it my component name like sample layout demo. And you might be noticing how I'm naming my, or what kind of naming convention I'm using for giving the name to my new LWC. I generally use ls underscore, that is basically a prefix for all the demos that I develop for Longswitch Academy. So I keep it let's keep it as LSA, that is Longswitch Academy underscore. Then I'm using this camel case where the first letter of the first word in the name starts with a smaller case. Then rest of the words will have the first letter as capital. It is called the camel case. So this is the standard naming convention. I'll hit enter. So my this SFDX extension in VS Code is like trying to create a component for me. It takes couple of seconds. Okay, here we go. My component has been created. You will see three files are there: HTML, .js file, and meta XML. Now, first what I'll do, I'll configure the layout for my component, and as you know, you can use Lightning layout tag to configure the layouts, and within the Lightning layout you have to for this Lightning layout tag, you have to configure certain attributes such as multiple rows, which means you want to support multiple rows on your layout or on your Lightning layout for your LWC. So I'll keep it as true, and within the Lightning layout we will specify certain Lightning layout items. They are basically the subsections within the layout, and for each of the Lightning layout item you have to define the size, like how much space or how much width a particular item should take. There is a total width of 12, so accordingly you can distribute. For now I'll keep three sections in each row, and I'll have two rows in my Lightning layout. So I'll add a comment here. It is always a good practice to put a meaningful comment on your code, so that anyone else other than you looks at your code, gets the understanding that what your code is doing. I always put the comments like this, and this is item 1. I'll configure it as item 2, and third one as item 3. Let's format this code. And again, one more thing that I would like to put, this will be item 1 in row 1, item 2 in row 1, and item 3 in row 1, because we want to have the multiple rows here. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. I'll name it as this. So this is how basically you configure the layout and layout items on your LWC. Here are two things that you have to highlight. One, whether you want to support multiple rows on your layout item or not. If you would like to support multiple rows, then you have to configure this multiple rows attribute. equals to true, then each of your layout lightning layout items should have a size defined for it, like how much size or how much width it should take on the screen from the total of 12. So likewise you can what I say, design your LWC. It is not mandatory to have equal width for all your layout items. You can give it the way you want it, but the total of each of the lightning layout item for a particular row should not exceed size 12. So let's, for this the second row, let's keep 6 for the second layout item and 2 for the what I say, 2 for the third layout item. So this is how you configure the layout or the grid system for achieving responsiveness in your LWC. So I'll deploy it and let's see this in action. So before we take a look at our component in the developer org, we have to do one thing. We have to set up this or configure this Lightning Web Component to be able to work with the tabs. So, or in other words, if we wish to like create a tab for this Lightning Web Component in our developer org, we have to do certain configurations. So for that, I'll go into this meta.xml file of the component and I'll configure the targets. Targets are basically the places at which you want to make this LWC available in the org, such as if you wish to make this LWC available for your flows, for your record page, or for your application pages, you have to configure it. Otherwise, by default, it won't appear anywhere. But for now, my use case is that I want to make it available for my Lightning tab. As you can see, these are the options on which you or for which you can configure your Lightning Web Components. For now, let's configure it for Lightning tab. You can continue to enhance these targets for your LWC as per your use cases, but it is advisable to keep it to the limited for the places for which your LWC is developed. Do not just mention the unnecessary targets. So I'll configure it, I'll deploy it. Okay, changes have been deployed. I'll go to my org. From my let me just refresh it because it was open a couple of minutes back, and since we just have deployed the latest changes, we have to refresh it. I'm inside my setup. In the quick find box, I'll look for the tab and I'll select this tab option from this user interface. On this tab setup, I will look for the Lightning Components tab. I'll click new. And here, yes, this is the one that we created. LSA simple layout demo. Give the name of your choice. I'll give it a name like always try to mention or try to give a more meaningful name to your tab so that later you can recall why you created a particular tab or particular LWC. So click next. Optionally, you can also add descriptions about your tab, but that is up to you. Click save. I think my org is lagging a bit. Sometimes it happens. And here, just search for your new tab. This one. I just use this app launcher. And here you go. But you see, the background is transparent here, so it is not appearing good. Let's go back to this HTML and let's try to add a card for each of the section, just for the demo purpose. Or I'll configure the title. I put this inside the card and copy it and paste and paste. I'm just copy pasting it, nothing fancy here. I just want to give you the demo that how you can uh, configure your lightning layout and layout items for specific screen sizes. Here it will be go to to actually to see to be to see. Now let's see how it looks. Try to deploy it. Go back to your component. Let's refresh it. Okay, see, this is how you get it. These are the for all the items or the layout items in the first row were configured to use the size of 4 or width of 4, so they all look similar. Here in the second row we configured the first item to for the width 4, second item of width 6, and third item of width 4. So you see the second item or third item was of width 2. So you can see that the size different is there. So this is the basic overview how you can configure your layouts, and I think it is really helpful. And one pro tip here is whenever you develop your Lightning web component or any Lightning web component, always develop with keeping the responsiveness in mind and the mobile first approach in mind, and you can achieve the responsiveness or mobile friendliness using this Lightning layout and layout items in LWC. Since we are here, I just want to showcase one more thing. Here we configure the size 4, which means it sorry about that. But here one thing one thing that I wanted to highlight here, since we have configured the size 4 for all the layout items, they will appear as size 4 on all the screen sizes. What I'm talking about, let me explain. If you inspect your window and go to this mobile mode or the responsive mode, you see your layout items were shrinked as size 4 in the big screens as well. I think this is not looking good because it becomes or it makes the lightning layouts or lightning layout items to shrink in smaller sizes. There is a solution for this problem. You can configure the size of your or width of your lightning layouts as per the screen size. For example, if it is small size device, you can configure it to use 12, which means the mobiles or mobile phones, each of your layout item will take size of 12. That means full width. For medium device sizes, you can keep it as 6 or maybe 4, and for the large device sizes, you can keep it 12. Since the size attribute, when you configure the device specific sizes, the size attribute corresponds to the small size. So you have to keep it as 12, because for all the medium devices such as tablets or large devices such as desktops or laptops, we have already defined the size. So this size attribute corresponds to the small device sizes as per the official documentation. So you have to keep it aligned with the small size configurations. So I'll copy it and paste it here. I'll paste it here. Similarly, I placed it here. Since in this design the small size device or the size was 6, so for small size we'll keep it 12. For medium we'll keep it 6. For larger we'll keep it 6. And here for here also, sorry, not here. Here let me erase this. We'll keep it as 12 for the small sizes. For medium sizes we'll keep it as 2, and we'll also keep it as 2, making the total 12. 4, 6, 10, 2. Here it should be. I think it should be 4. Here, large devices should be 4. I think I misconfigured it. Let's deploy this and see this in the action. This is pretty simple. In case you have more questions, do reach out to us in the comment section and we'll try to help you out as much as we can. And on the other hand, you can also refer to the official documentation of Salesforce. They have really detailed developer documentation available for use. It is really handy. You can just go and check it out. And go to my org. I'll refresh my grid, or I'll refresh my like LWC. Okay, here it appears good. Let's inspect the element. I think my PC is lagging. Okay, you see, now I'm in the iPhone SE mode, that is a phone. I think it would refresh. So I have like refreshed the page, and this is how it looks. Let's inspect it, and you can see that in the small screens the components are aligned according to the different according to their configurations for the small sizes. And from here you can see that I'm looking at this page in the iPhone SE, that is the mobile device. So therefore they all are taking good like full width of the container, that is the screen. And from the previous one you can compare that the responsiveness has been achieved, and the components are aligning with the available width of the screen. Now let's take a look at the iPad or something. You see, in the for the tablets or the iPad, that is a medium sized devices, we have configured it as 444 for the first row, then 4, 6, and 2 for the third row. It is working like that only. Now if I switch back to the mobile phone, it will take the configurations of the small sized devices that we provided in the code here. So this is pretty much it about setting up the grid system or the lightning layout and layout items in Salesforce for achieving the responsiveness. I hope this session is like insightful for you as a Salesforce developer, and you are getting value from it.
Thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of our tech community. Your presence and engagement mean the world to us. Subscribe now to learn and grow with us and to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support truly makes a difference. Until next time, happy coding. This is your host Shubham bidding you a bye. Take care. Thank you so